Okay, we have an interesting topic today. And for all of you like type A plus students, I'm not talking to you. I know what it feels like to like sit in the classroom and teachers talking about something that, somebody did, and you're like, oh my God, she's talking to me? I don't think I did that. I can't imagine I did that. Oh my gosh, I feel like she's talking to me. Okay, I'm not talking to you. All right. So, but this is something that is important for me to address because it is happening lately more than usual. And I don't know if it's like the moon cycles or what's going on, whatever it is, but people are having, that's right, it's party rocking on a Friday. Okay. People are getting difficult sometimes. It happens. And agents are getting to like the end of their like patience and just leaving them high and dry and just ghosting them and just completely not responding to them, and then it gets bad. So we're going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about, and for those of you who are new, I cannot make the slides bigger because it messes everything up. So we're just going to go with it. Let's say you've got a difficult client. He's like screaming at you on the phone. He's using profanities. He's being rude. He's just awful. And it's stressing you out. It's really like so what do you do in this situation? Like, what would cause you? And I want you guys to answer in the question box. And I'm not going to look at anybody's name. I have it pulled over so I can't see the names. But I'm just curious, from your point of view, what would cause you to leave your client high and dry? Like, what would they have to do for you to be like, I'm turning this over to somebody else. I don't want to work with this client anymore. I'm just really curious. I mean, I would think like if somebody was screaming profanities at me, that would definitely make me not want to work with them and want to pass them on to somebody else who could maybe help them out. And I'm not talking about passing them on to somebody else. I'm talking about the people who actually like ghost them. So, right now they would have to keep changing their mind and being rude. Okay. Profanity. Yes. Swearing, profanity for sure. Okay. Disrespect. Yes. And they're being disrespectful. I tell them exactly why and pass them to someone else. Screaming at me or simply being unreasonable, being rude and disrespectful. Nothing satisfies the client. The client has endless requests that are not possible. Okay. Not responding. Okay, so they're not responding to you. Well, that would be a problem. Then they can't get mad at you because they're the ones not responding. When they keep changing the venue at least 3 times after finalizing the deal. Okay. Calling me out my name. They would have to hang up on me. Profanity, yelling. I'll take them all. Individuals who ghost me or cannot make decisions. Okay, I would not ghost them. I would tell them right up front I will not work with them. Okay, so we've got, how do I get back to the slide? Huh? You might, if you're having trouble seeing something, then you might have to log out and log in. Keep changing their mind. It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. There you go. Disrespectful, changing. Okay, so pretty much those same kind of things are what like leave you at your wit's end. So let's break this down. Because I'm going to play these in the departure lounge, because usually the people who show up to these might not be the ones having the issue. In fact, it might be newer agents who don't even know that this Q&A exists. So I'm going to just answer this and then we'll get to your Q&As. So the first thing you want to do is, what can you say to calm them? So first thing is, people want to be heard. They want to know that you hear them. So repeating back what you hear is their problem and getting clarification. So, this helps to calm them down. And so you're repeating back, okay, so we've booked this venue. This is the third time we've booked a venue for you. This one's, and I hear that your problem is now this with the venue. Okay, so you're hearing that, you're calming them down. Then you're going to reassure them that you're going to do everything in your power to help them. You only, there's only so much you can do, but you're going to do everything. So like you're letting them know that you're going to do everything you can. So if they're calling you from the airport and they're screaming that their flight has been canceled and they're not going to get to the cruise on time, even though you told them to go in a day early so this wouldn't happen, you're going to say, okay, I hear you. Your flight is canceled. I am now going to do everything in my power to get the help that you need to get you on another flight and get you there on time. Okay, but here's the thing. Once they pay, once they make that commitment, so there are a few of you who are like, if they keep changing their mind, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, then if they keep changing their mind and they're not committing to anything, you can say, I don't think I'm the right travel agent for you. I'm clearly not hearing what you need and I'm not able to help you. But once they pay, you own them. Okay, they're yours. You're a professional travel agent. They're yours. Like, when you have a sports team and you've got a player who's got bad behavior, like that player is your responsibility. Like they're yours. So we've got to work on, for you to stay calm. Maybe like if they've just yelled at you and they've been profane, like, hey, maybe they weren't raised right, so they don't, to them that might be everyday talk, whereas someone's cursing at me, that is not how we play. No, maybe you go for a walk, clear your head, but you recognize that this is your obligation and you're going to do your best to make them happy. So, that is your thinking. And then also you want to have numbers ready for them. And give it to them before they go, who to contact when things go wrong. So if you have contact numbers that they need, like let's say they show up at the airport in Cancun and the car is not there to get them, like there might be a number that you can give them that they can go to directly and help themselves before they call you all crazy and angry, okay? And then remember to use the travel desk. When it comes to flights and issues like that, travel desk is what's there for you. Like don't call customer service, like pass go and collect $200 by using travel desk. Like they are the ones that have the direct access. They can, move things around. They can help you. So make sure you're using travel desk. All right. And then what are the solutions here? So when there are some things that you want to do beforehand. I have some doubles here. Wait, did I move? Yes. Okay. There are some things. Wait, I feel like, okay, I know what happened. I meant to put some of these things onto this page. Okay, so we'll just get rid of that. See, working in real time. Here we go. So some solutions to help you beforehand are to be clear with expectations. So this is how it works. We've booked your flight to Cancun. You chose to go on JetBlue. I want to manage some expectations with you. As we talked about before you chose your airline, JetBlue, yes, it is less expensive than the other airlines. It has also been doing a lot of cancellations and rescheduling. So I just had a trip for Cancun planned that I was supposed to go to last week, but because I wasn't feeling well, it was canceled. I mean, I canceled it. I had travel insurance. It's very important, y'all. Always have travel insurance. But I was still getting messages from JetBlue. And I found out that my flight back to Las Vegas was canceled. I would have been stuck at JFK. Luckily, I'm from New York. I would have found somebody I could have stayed over at their house. However, I've gotten some experience in travel over the last 7 years working with a travel company. But if that had happened to me before Inteletravel, I would have been in complete and utter panic. That's just how my body responds to these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm by myself. I'm at JFK. I don't know how to get and what's funny is with Inteletravel, I was once with some of our other Dreammaker people, and we had to get to Nashville, and we were at JFK, and our flight got canceled. And there were a ton of flights that were canceled. We couldn't even get a hotel room. We couldn't get a flight out of JFK. So we had to find a hotel in Staten Island. I mean, and we had the Inteletravel team working for us to find this. And then it was actually we turned it into something special, which is something that you can look to do in the future. So here I was at Staten Island. I grew up in New York until I was 25. I'd never been to Staten Island. I had never taken the Staten Island ferry. I went on the ferry. I saw the Statue of Liberty, which I'd never, I mean, I never did any touristy things except go to the Empire State Building when I was a little kid. And I saw like downtown. I saw that giant bull where the stock market is. I actually went to the 9/11 memorial, which I always said I would never do because I lost some friends and I just thought it would be too traumatic. But I was actually very glad I went. And so we turned this negative into a positive. So always be looking for ways to not only like manage their expectations beforehand, but also be thinking of ways that you can, while they're screaming and while they're freaking out, you're kind of going into your zone and you're thinking, how do I turn this into a positive? How can I make this a good experience for them? All right, so this especially happens, making sure that they have expectations of this is how the trip is going to work. You know, car's going to pick you up. Once you get there, you're going to, you know, go to the destination. You know, you're going to get there before you're ready to check in. They may be able to accommodate you, but they may not be. And if they're not, you can put your, you know, leave your bags with the bellman and they'll get it to your room and it's ready. And then in the meantime, you get to go to the all-inclusive dining room and eat and have free chocolates. So like, let them know how it's going to work. Now, this especially happens with your unrealistic expectation clients. You know, the ones that have especially low budgets, but then they want the world. So you know when that's happening from the beginning that you have to be really crystal clear. Okay, you know, you wanted to go to Jamaica for a week and it only costs, you know, $1,000. So you're not going to be in this luxury suite on the top floor that you originally wanted. Like, you really got to manage their expectations. We talked about the fact that you're going to get a lower budget room because you're not going to spend a lot of time in your room. So, you know, just you're going to manage their, then you're also going to set your boundaries for when you are available. Setting your boundaries. A lot of travel agents say, hey, I'm your, you know, travel agent. I'm in your pocket. I'm with you all the time. And if that is true for you, if you want to make sure that, like, you know, when you know someone's traveling, you've got your phone on, even if it's like, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning for you, then great. But also set your boundaries and let them know, listen, I return, like, people who are reaching out to me to become ambassadors in training. I don't check my email every 10 minutes. You know, that's not what I do. I have hours that I check my email, and then like I might end up getting back to them late at night, which is, you know, PST, and if they're on EST, they're already asleep. And they're like, let's set up the appointment right now. And I'm like, I didn't even see that email because, you know, I only check my emails a certain number of times a day. So you've got to set your boundaries for when you're available. So this way, they're not going to get angry at you when you say, you know, when they say, you didn't, you know, answer my call as soon as I picked up. And you say, well, I told you I only answer calls between this time and this time. So, it's one thing when they're traveling, it's a whole nother thing if they're calling you at 3 in the morning because they just had an idea that they want to go on a gondola ride. And can you do that, right? So you've definitely got to set your work hour boundaries with them. And then finally, the last straw. Okay, this is it. They've been cursing at you, they're yelling at you, you manage their expectations, they didn't respect it, they don't care, they're being unreasonable, all the things. That's when you contact Inteletravel management. So this is, Crystal, Cassandra. They are, the managers and directors of customer service. And you let them know that you need to transfer this account. Or else if travel is tomorrow, they're going to finish it for you. Now, this is not to be abused. This is not a situation where, oh my gosh, my sister's wedding is tomorrow. Let me call customer service and have them finish it for me. No, 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 no. Because our managers, they get both sides of the story. They're finding out what happened on both sides. And then keep in mind, if the account is transferred to someone else, you are not going to get commission on it. But it might be worth it to wash your hands of them, right? So the most important thing is that you do not just drop them and no response at all. So like we come back to that team that's got the athlete who's just being so much trouble. We don't just leave him. We can trade him to another team, but we don't ruin his career by like never letting him play again. That's, just because everybody has to cut their hair short on the Yankees, like even when Johnny Damon came from the Boston Red Sox and he had his long hair. If he wanted to play for the Yankees, he had to cut that hair. So you got the guy that's not going to cut the hair. Well, you don't ruin his career. You just send him to another team. Let his hair locks flow. Okay. So we never want to just leave anyone high and dry. All right. That is very, very important. Okay.